morning, I'm Amit Thackeray and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. Government forms a three-member committee to initiate dialogue with fast on to death Dr. Govinda Kisi. In opposition, Nepali Congress continues obstruction of the parliament in support of Dr. Kisi. Government extends Transport Syndicate Committee for another 6 months despite pledges to end it by mid-July, citing lack of alternatives. The much-touted summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin concludes. Trump says his face-to-face meeting with Russian counterpart was a good start. And French football team receives a hero's welcome in Paris following victory in FIFA World Cup after 20 years. Squad honored with an official reception by President Emmanuel Macron. Let's begin with the national political updates. The government has formed a negotiating team to initiate dialogue with Dr. Govinda Kisi, who has been staying fast on to death in Jumla for the past 18 days. The meeting of the Council of Ministers yesterday decided to form a three-member team under the coordination of Education Secretary Khagras Baral. The team also includes joint secretaries from Home and Health Ministries. Dr. Kisi has demanded to not issue permits to operate medical colleges in the capital for the next 10 years, one university granting affiliation to a maximum of 5 medical colleges and not running medical schools until 3 years of operation of hospitals. Likewise, he has also demanded for the operation of educational programs including MBBS at Karnali and Rapli Health Science Academies. The residential doctors at Peer Hospital and Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital have been staging protests for the last 4 days to put pressure on the government to fulfill the demands put forth by Dr. Kisi and to save his life. In support of Dr. Kisi, the residents of Jumla have also been taking out rallies. Dr. Kisi, who has been staging a hunger strike demanding reforms in the country's medical education sector and health services, is facing serious problems with his heart, chest and breathing. The doctors who are treating Dr. Kisi have informed that the oxygen level in his blood is decreasing. Rights activists staged protest in front of the Federal Parliament building yesterday and crossed the restricted area, citing that the government hasn't shown seriousness regarding Dr. Kisi's deteriorating health. 2 rights activists were taken into custody for entering the restricted area. Nepali Congress has continued with its obstruction at the House, trying to prevent the government bid to moving ahead with the medical education bill. The Congress lawmakers obstructed the parliamentary proceedings the moment it started, saying that the government has tabled the medical education bill favoring what they call medical mafias. The Nepali Congress emphasized that the bill should be brought as per the agreement struck with fast on to death Dr. Govinda Kisi. Nepali Congress also appealed to the government to immediately address Dr. Kisi's demands. The House was finally adjourned till the 19th of July as the House proceedings couldn't resume due to obstruction by Nepali Congress despite repeated calls by the Speaker. Meanwhile, Education Minister Giriraj Mani Pokhrel informed that the government was sensitive to the health issues of Dr. Govinda Kisi. The minister also said that Dr. Kisi could be flown to Kathmandu from Jumla at any time, saying that the government is committed to resolving the issue through dialogue. Minister Pokhrel informed that a committee has been formed to initiate dialogue with Dr. Kisi. The government had extended the term of the Transport Syndicate committees for the next 6 months despite its pledges to end the syndicate by mid-July. The working committee formed to suspend the syndicate had suggested for its continuation for the next 6 months, citing lack of alternatives. The Physical Infrastructure and Transport Ministry had issued a directive 3 months ago calling for all transport committees to register their companies. Ministry representatives had also dissolved the Transport Entrepreneur Committee's board as a symbolic gesture of the end of Transport Syndicate. The government and passengers were both delighted at the decision to end the syndicate. By this time, service seekers were also expecting to buy tickets from companies' counters. However, the scenario has been otherwise. The government had also pledged to freeze the bank accounts of transport entrepreneurs and investigate on the same. The government had also announced that syndicate would officially end from mid-July and entrepreneurs had started preparing to register their companies as well. However, the present modus operandi of the government and transport entrepreneurs tells a completely different story. By giving 6 more months to the transport syndicate, the government has put itself in the questionable position. Now the international update. US President Donald Trump has defended Russia over claims of interference in the 2016 presidential elections. After face-to-face talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin, President Trump contradicted US intelligence agencies and said there had been no reason for Russia to meddle in the vote. Mr. Putin reiterated that Russia had never interfered in US affairs. The two men held nearly 2 hours of closed-door talks in the Finnish capital, Helsinki, yesterday. US intelligence agencies concluded in 2016 that Russia was behind an effort to tip the scale of the US election against Hillary Clinton with a state-authorized campaign of cyber attacks and fake news stories planted on social media. On a lighter note, Mr. Trump congratulated President Putin on the successful staging of the World Cup football tournament in Russia, and Mr. Putin responded by giving the US leader a tournament football. The US will co-host the 2026 World Cup with Canada and Mexico. Mired in multiple deadline failures and controversies, the much-awaited Melamchi drinking water project is likely to hit a snag yet again due to the contractor company's negligence. After 7 years of commencement of the project, the Vice President and government officials earlier this month in April had announced with a lot of fanfare that a breakthrough in the opening of the tunnel was achieved. The government officials at the time had claimed that the Melamchi water would be distributed to the Kathmandu Valley citizens by Dasai this year. Based on the construction estimates, the Sundarijal Processing Center should have started its work in 90 days since the announcement in April. However, in 3 months since then, the contractor company has only been able to complete the finishing of 7 kilometers out of the total 26 kilometers tunnel. Among the mandatory works that are yet to be done are the installation of ventilations, the 60-meter diversion pipe extending from the river up to the end of the tunnel, and a 250-meter long pipe that would divert the water to the processing center in Sundarijal. The executive director for the project's committee, Suryaras Kadel, has said the Italian contractor company CMC has asked and received budget for different reasons. However, suppliers have complained they have not received their payment yet. Kadel has also stated that the project committee is preparing to call for another contractor candidate should CMC fail to complete the project as per its schedule. The project has failed to progress due to the budget crunch, as the CMC sent over 72% of the payment money to Italy. Yesterday, we had asked the residents of Chitwan and Parsa why has the government shown leniency to save the life of Dr. Govinda Kisi, who is on a hunger strike for the past 18 days. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
सरकारहरु चाहिँ विभिन्न व्यक्तिहरुको प्रभावमा परेर जस्तो विभिन्न मेडिकल कलेज सञ्चालकहरुको दबावमा परेर चाहिँ यो मागलाई चाहिँ सम्बोधन गर्न नखोजेको हो।
उहाँको मागहरुलाई केही सम्बोधन गरेर र उहाँको अनसन तोड्नु पर्छ र उहाँको जीवनलाई रक्षा गर्नको लागि सरकारले एउटा विश्वासले वातावरण देखाउनु पर्छ।
उहाँ पनि कति लचिलो भएर आउनुहुन्छ, सरकारले कति गर्न सक्छ हैन, त्यो अनुसार चाँडो भन्दा चाँडै गर्दै हुन्थ्यो।
सरकारले गम्भीर रूपमा उहाँको जीवन रक्षाको लागि तुरन्त उहाँको जीवन रक्षाको लागि पहल कदमी चाल्नुपर्छ।
And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what is the reason behind the delay in completing the Melamchi drinking water project as per schedule? And options are A, negligent contractor company, B, commission gain, and C, government's negligence. The voting is on. Type NWS, select your option A, B, or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
France's victorious World Cup winning team landed in Paris yesterday to be given a hero's welcome by hundreds of thousands of fans. Jubilant crowds lined the capital's main artery, the Champs Elysees, to greet the team's open-top bus that saluted the players and the course overhead, trailing smoke in French red, white and blue. The team was then honored with an official reception by President Emmanuel Macron. France beat Croatia 4-2 in the final in Moscow on Sunday. It is France's second World Cup win following their triumph in 1998. Mr. Macron's office announced that the players and the coach would receive the country's highest accolade, the Légion d'honneur. Some 3,000 people were invited to the presidential reception, including 1,000 youths from football clubs around the country, such as Bondy de Paris, Saveur, where 19-year-old forward Kylian Mbappe first started his career, in order that they can welcome the Blues. Italian giants Juventus have unveiled their latest recruit, the global football superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. Juventus signed Cristiano from Real Madrid for a reported fee of 100 million euros. However, details of the contract between the Portuguese captain and the old lady have not made public. Over the course of Cristiano's 4-year contract, Juve will reportedly spend 350 million euros, a huge investment made after years of steady financial management that they hope will reap dividends at the highest level. Juventus shares emblazoned with Ronaldo and the number 7 was also made public at the press conference. Cristiano, who had joined Real Madrid from English Premier League club Manchester United for a record transfer fee in 2009, joined Juventus with 3 years remaining at his revised contract with the Galacticos. Cristiano, who spent 9 years at Real Madrid, had renewed contract until 2021 last year. 33-year-old Cristiano was the highest scorer for Real Madrid. He had found the net for 450 times in 438 appearances for the club. 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano was imperative in Real Madrid's recent 4th Champions League success. And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. Government forms a 3-member committee to initiate dialogue with fast-on-to-death Dr. Govinda Kesi. Main opposition Nepali Congress continues obstruction of the parliament in support of Dr. Kesi. Government extends Transport Syndicate Committee for another 6 months despite pledges to end it by mid-July, citing lack of alternatives. The much-awaited summit between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin concludes. Trump says his face-to-face meeting with Russian counterpart was a good start. And French football team receives a hero's welcome in Paris following victory in FIFA World Cup after 20 years. Squad honored with an official reception by President Emmanuel Macron. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur TV SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.